Everyone, and welcome to the United Stand. A little bit raw because I've just got in from work, but you know, we can do raw. We can react to raw news. It's fine. Antoine Griezmann Watchgate is upon us. Basically, he's put out. It's actually on our Twitter feed if you want to have a look at it. But he's basically advertising a watch, and at about 1 minute and 4 seconds in, he holds his watch up, and you can see Jose on the screen, and he hits the red button. Many people have interpreted this as it's a call from Jose that he turns down. In fact, he's probably on the call to Jose. We've had watch experts on this. It's all over Twitter. It's the beauty of Manchester United fans that within seconds or minutes of things happening, they've researched every prop involved and they know exactly how it works. And this actual brand of watch, if it is taking a call, will not just go red like that. It'll have a green bit on as well. So he's probably on the call to Jose and he ends it. He's not rejecting a call to Jose Mourinho. It has massive similarities of the Pogba deal of last summer. It really does. It's what I would call, and I can't call it before 9 o'clock, rhymes with doc, but starts with a C. He's doc teasing us. And poor. But you know what I mean. And he is. And that's what's happening with that. He's going to come to Manchester United. I'm 100% sure of it. Andrew Gilmore says, can you explain again, please? Okay, so there's a watch advert that Griezmann's doing. 1 minute and 4 seconds in. It's on our Twitter feed. It's about 2 tweets ago. He holds his phone up, he holds his watch up, and it says Jose and a red button, and he hits the red button to end the call. He's not taking the call. He's not refusing the call. He's probably on the call. He's certainly not taking the call. But even if he is, it's just, why would you do that? It's too coincidental. So Jose Mourinho will definitely be coming to Manchester United. Of course he will. But Griezmann will be coming to Manchester United. I love doing Raw. I really am just sat down to do this. But Richard Little, I want to talk about DiMarzio's comments, but I want to talk about better with you and on the 8:30 show. But what I did really, the more important thing I wanted to talk to you about the Griezmann deal that many of you may have picked up on, is that today was meant to be the day when there was an announcement about Atletico Madrid's transfer ban. Some people thought it would be lifted. Then this morning we were here, it was going to be upheld, which means the transfer ban would be in place. The decision has not been made. It will be made tomorrow. But this is big news because basically the ban doesn't really make any difference to Manchester United in the fact that if we pay them money, it's still down to Griezmann. He can leave. However, if the ban is upheld, which is what people are thinking, then if Griezmann leaves Atletico Madrid, they can't sign anybody till January. And the thought process is that because Griezmann has had such a good relationship with Atletico Madrid and he is their best player, would he leave them in the lurch in the fact that they can't replace him? So they might want Lacazette, but if the ban is upheld tomorrow and Griezmann leaves, they can't replace him. There's nobody they can bring in. So would Griezmann do that knowing that he leaves the club in a bad situation? Morally, it's a tough one. I would sort of respect Griezmann if he said, I want to come to Manchester United, I want to leave, but I can't leave this club in the lurch like this. So the best scenario for everybody is that the ban gets lifted, and then Atletico Madrid can replace their Griezmann if he leaves, and he can leave with a guilt-free conscience. However, I'm not convinced, even if the ban is upheld, I'm not convinced that Griezmann will definitely stay. This is a once-in-a-life opportunity to go to Manchester United, lifetime opportunity, to get the number 7, to be the star player in the Champions League with Manchester United. If he wants it and he's set his heart on it, I think he'll go. The Ice Fire Prince says they've got Torres. Yes, they have got Torres, but they had Torres this year. If Griezmann goes, they lose Griezmann and they don't replace him. That's the problem that Atletico Madrid face. But look, I'm not going to lie to you and say I know why Atletico Madrid have this transfer ban. I'm not educated enough to say I hope it gets lifted because maybe they deserve it. I don't know. But from Manchester United's point of view, I think it makes it more certain that if the transfer ban is lifted, then he will come to Manchester United. I still think it's going to happen anyway. Andrew Rossi says, I think this Griezmann deal is going to happen and it's just banter. Yeah, I mean, it has echoes of the Pogba Adidas things. Obviously, Adidas sponsor Manchester United, so it made it more publicity stunt-esque. But doesn't mean Griezmann can't do it with a watch manufacturer, and that's effectively what's happened. For those joining us a little late, Griezmann put it out about an hour and a half ago off his Twitter account and on Instagram, obviously doing a watch promotion. 1 minute and 4 seconds in, He holds the watch up and you see Jose on the phone, on the watch, and he hits the red button. However, we've had the watch experts on and they're saying that wouldn't happen if it was an incoming call. It must have been that he was on the phone through his watch to Jose, and he ends the call at that point. He rejected the call. Somebody says, look, I ain't too fussed about it. I said at the time, when I thought he'd rejected the call, I'm not bothered. It doesn't bother me. I'm not concerned by that Griezmann advert at all. He's handed in a transfer request as far as yesterday's concerned. And the Di Marzio stuff I will touch on now. Di Marzio is somebody that I've always said is very credible in relation to Manchester United transfer news. I'm not going to say he's always right. Nobody's 100%, but he is well over 70%. I think if you can find a source like that, then you should listen to it. And Di Marzio is certainly in that ballpark. What he said today is that Manchester United are interested in Griezmann, but he's not their first priority. He's their third priority. First being Mbappe, which Di Marzio actually mentioned about 6 weeks ago, and we've discussed that. Second being Morata. Now, there's many ways you can interpret that. You could say that Griezmann's not the priority because the deal, as I've said for a while, has been done for a long time, and they don't need to go chasing him, whereas Mbappe and Morata are. Or you can interpret the other way, that we're not going to get Mbappe because he's going to go to Real Madrid. We're not going to get Morata because he's going to go to Italy. So Griezmann becomes the priority. There's numerous ways you can read it. And again, it's not something that massively concerns me in relation to Griezmann coming to Manchester United at all. As Robin Cahill says, money talks. We match the release clause. He's coming to Manchester United. Sanjoy makes a good point. He's saying the Griezmann saga is getting a bit annoying. Exactly the same thing happened with Pogba. We were all very excited at the start when it broke around the start of July. He didn't sign for another few weeks, and by the end of it, it was becoming a bit tiring. I'm not a big fan of the long, protracted, exciting signings. I mean, I quite like I don't like a bish bash bosh quick job. That's not me. I like it to be enjoyable. But I want it to be, it's not going to be a marathon. And there is no connotations there, although I suppose they would ring true with that as well. But yes, we're here to talk about Griezmann at the moment. Obviously, at 8:30, we'll be talking about a hell of a lot of things. Zlatan, De Gea, Morata, Matic, Fabinho, lots to discuss. Lots to discuss. Don't know why I was going a bit foreign there. Lots to discuss at 8:30. But this is literally, we will do a few of these during the summer. Sometimes if it's in the day, lunch break, things like that, we'll react live. I know it's not got the studio and everything, and Drawty doesn't like it. But I've said, look, United Stand viewers are educated. They've got a level of depth. And actually what they want is just some common sense reaction to things that are going on where they can chat with each other. So drop a like if you like the Raw. I know it's not great, and I know the lighting's not superb, and I know I look like I need a holiday, but the voice is the same, the reaction's the same, and that's why we've done it. I would not agree with you, Jake Holden. I don't think Griezmann is overrated. I actually like him a hell of a lot. I think he'll bring a lot to the team, as would Fabinho. I'm really hoping that's going to happen, but we'll talk about that next on the 8:30 show. Somebody just asked me a question there. Gareth Bale might come if he doesn't play in the Champions League final, says Connor. What's your opinion, Mark? Well, let's get the Champions League out of the way. Subic says you look lifeless. It's the lighting. I could twist around and get a bit more. It's just the lighting. Aubameyang to PSG. We'll talk about that later. A little bit frustrated. But let's stick it to Griezmann. Yeah, stick it, Griezmann. Let's stick the topic to Griezmann because that's what we're here to talk about. I have got no concerns about it. I still think it's going to happen. There's no reason not to think it's going to happen. The little watch thing, whatever. I think the transfer ban, as I was talking about those, for those who've joined us late, the transfer ban with Atletico Madrid does pose a moral question. I was convinced the Atletico Madrid transfer ban would be lifted today. Then there was talk this morning it was going to be upheld. Now it's been put back to tomorrow. I think if it's upheld, Griezmann leaves Atletico Madrid, they can't replace him. And I'm sure he'll get the guilt edge from Atletico Madrid saying, can't you just stay till January? You can go in January, just stay till January till we can get a replacement. And morally, you could understand Griezmann maybe thinking, I don't know. And I think that's the only obstacle now. I don't think it necessarily is an obstacle anyway because it's still up to Griezmann. The transfer ban on Atletico Madrid does not stop them selling players, especially when it's got a release clause because it works very differently. If we pay the £89 million, goes to Griezmann, goes to the player, and then the player deposits it into the club. It's not a transfer ban in the sense that it stops them selling players. It stops them buying players. So we can still get Griezmann even if the ban for Atletico Madrid is upheld. And I must get that message across. And please do share it out. If if Atletico Madrid's ban tomorrow is upheld and they can't sign players this summer, it doesn't mean we can't sign Griezmann. What it might mean is that Griezmann has a guilt trip and doesn't want to leave Atletico Madrid unable to replace him. But he can leave. And there's a lot of people thinking, oh no, we can't get Griezmann if the ban is upheld. We can. Doesn't matter. Atletico Madrid won't be able to sign somebody, but we can still get Griezmann. The best situation for everybody, so that Griezmann doesn't get the guilt trip, is that they get their ban lifted, they can sign Lacazette or wherever they're after, we get Griezmann, end of story. But I still think it's going to happen. I still think it will happen anyway. Thanks everybody for watching. It was only a very, very quick 10-minute thing. Obviously, we are back tonight at 8:30 with a full, longer show talking about all the stuff that's gone on today. Absolutely loads of stuff to talk about today. There is a list, and it's a long one. Matic, what do you think about him? Morata, I mean, would you want Morata? Mbappe back in the game again. Fabinho, obviously Griezmann, De Gea, Zlatan. Zlatan wants to stay. Join us at 8:30. It's going to be a big, big show, but that's your update on Griezmann. If you've missed it, go back to the start. We've covered everything. My message is, I'm not concerned, and everything you need to know is in this video. Thanks for watching. I'll speak to you all soon. And remember to drop us a like on the Raw stuff, because we're not in the studio, and sometimes we will have to react to Raw. So support the channel. Thanks for watching.